We may not be able to get justice for Elijah, but we ask you for the gift of your time to bear witness to his story, to speak his name, and share his story so that it may help bring about change for others. At 8:43 p.m. on October 5th, 2024, Elijah Armand Stevens was driving home from work in Colorado Springs, Colorado on his motorcycle in complete safety gear. He had just called his brother before leaving work to see if he wanted to have their weekly game night. As he was driving towards an intersection in which he had a green light, a driver, who we'll call Miss X, turned in front of him on a flashing yellow light, having never stopped to look for oncoming vehicles, and taking the turn at 19 miles per hour, struck Elijah, who later died from his injuries at 10:06 p.m. At the scene, Miss X told officers that she had been drinking alcohol an hour before the accident, that she takes a list of prescription medication which she is uncertain if any of it warns against mixing with alcohol, that she uses marijuana daily, and that she never saw Mr. Stevens. In her car, officers found an open container of the same alcohol she reported recently consuming and several partially empty cases of the same drink. Officers found marijuana outside her vehicle. Miss X was asked to do a blood alcohol test and she refused. He stated that Miss X was the cause of the accident, and that he, the officer, didn't take the turn because he could see Elijah and he knew if he attempted to turn on the yellow light, he would have hit him. Miss X was never given a breathalyzer or proper field sobriety testing. She was allowed to go through her car and remove contents unsupervised. Her friend, who was not a witness, was allowed to complete Miss X's driver's statement for her. 3 hours after the incident, a DUI officer finally arrived at the scene. He smelled her breath and looked at her eyes on the dark street. She was then told not to worry, that the worst that would happen to her might be a ticket, but that she would never be arrested, and she can, quote, bounce back from this. She laughed and said, "My birthday is next week." In the end, officers falsified their police report and blamed Elijah for his own death, and never charged Miss X with any crime to include failure to yield, open container, refusal to test, DWAI, DUI, or vehicular manslaughter. Mr. Stevens' family was advised that in Colorado, police are allowed to be negligent as long as it is not gross negligence, and that proper investigation of a crime is a privilege and a service, not a right. This video shares the evidence of this injustice, negligence, and documented lies through the lens of CSPD themselves, as shared in their police report, body cam, evidence, and outside independent forensic analysis.
Well, motorcycle is coming eastbound. She is making a left.
Okay.
So in order to make a left turn in the state of Colorado,
You have to have a green light.
no,
Oh.
you have to make sure the intersection is clear to be doing so.
Yeah.
Because this light flashes yellow.
Yeah.
So if it was unclear to make the turn, because
Right.
you hit somebody, it would be a foul.
So the person who
Didn't yield the right of way.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh?
Were they on a protected green or was it amber?
Amber. Because I was going to make the turn too, but I saw the motorcycle. So you're going to ask her to do a voluntary draw? If that's how we got it, yeah. Careless driving. Causing death.
So automatically, right, if we have a motorcyclist with major injuries based on other officer statements and drivers of TU1 itself, right?
Yeah.
The proximate cause of the accident is
her.
Okay, so
We don't know if this could be something even bigger and everything like
what
that.
if our
too.
motorcyclist dies?
Then vehicular homicide. Vehicular homicide.
So we got photos. I got a witness statement from another guy that said he saw it. And then here's the two witness forms. This is the guy that I was talking to. No, apparently I grabbed.
Grab two.
I just ripped.
Okay.
But that's his. He said.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Yeah. So you got a really good statement. You.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you and let you know that, so unfortunately, the motorcyclist did pass away. I'm sorry to be the bearer of that news. It's not going to change the aspect of how we're going to approach this. We're not assuming you did anything wrong. We're not going to assume you did anything wrong. We're going to let the facts and everything as they play. Best case scenario, as far as you're concerned, worst case scenario, okay? Best case scenario is, let's say he's doing 1,000 miles an hour. That's not reasonable. He hits you, nothing happens for you, okay? Worst case scenario, let's say he's doing exactly the speed limit. Then that would be a ticket for you. I'm not going to come break down your door and haul you off to jail and say, here's a court date, and we'll talk about this in court. That's worst case scenario, okay? So put your mind at ease as far as that goes. Okay? I know this is tough. Just take it one step at a time. But I at least want to give you that information as far as life's not over. Okay? It's not like this is something you can bounce back from. Okay?
My first car accident.
I'm sorry.
Oh, less than a week before my birthday too.
Is your birthday next week? Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Not that I could see. She's complaining about cotton mouth. She's saying it was coming from smoke. I'm going to ask her if she takes any over, like, kind of medication she takes.
Okay.
So maybe she takes like antidepressants, which could possibly lead to DUI.
Okay. All right.
So what she told me, both in her written statement, is that she was driving westbound, going onto the frontage road, sees the yellow light, looks clear, starts going about approximately 20 miles an hour.
Okay, any marijuana usage?
Not today, no.
Okay, when was the last time you used marijuana?
Probably last night.
Last night, do you know about what time?
9, 10.
9 or 10 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it an edible, like a joint, a vape pen?
Just like a bowl.
A bowl? Okay. How much, did you smoke a whole bowl? Would you take a couple hits out of the bowl, or?
Maybe a whole bowl after throughout the course of the night.
And then I noticed behind the Subaru there was like some pouches of like loose leaf and like wrappers and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if she smokes, but
I just have a few more questions for you. Are you taking any medications right now? Okay, and have you been drinking at all today?
I had a drink earlier when I got home. We had a break.
What time was that?
Every single one. Yeah.
We got off about 7. About 7:30.
7:30. And you say you had a drink. What kind of drink was it?
One of the seltzers, like an alcoholic seltzer.
Okay. Do you know if any of your medications say not to mix with alcohol, or?
No. Not as far as I know.
Okay.
Good. All right.
I mean, I've never had a problem.
All right. Who's the president of the United States?
I'll see you.
Biden.
Okay. Who do you think is the next president is going to be?
Kamala.
Okay. If I had 5 quarters, how much money would I have?
$1.25.
Okay. Do you know what day of the week it is?
Oh my God. We've been working days straight. I am losing track. Saturday, the 5th.
Okay. All right. If I have any other additional questions for you, I'll just come back and talk to you and everything like that. Just want to hang out right here.
Newman, what additional information did you get?
That she does different medications and she did have a cold drink.
Okay. What kinds of medication? Okay. What do you think we would need to do with that information? To what?
I'll relay it.
Okay. Who would you want to let that know to? What else do you think we would need to do? Do you think we need to do anything else with that information besides telling a supervisor?
I think that's about it. Just to see if anything's also possible.
Okay.
Get a top car out of here.
Okay. Do you think we would have enough for like an eval?
I'm not exactly sure because like I've never heard. I don't know what all those do when they're interacting with the drink.
With what?
With how they interact with the drink.
Okay. So regardless of how they may or may not interact, right? What do you need for a DUI evaluation?
Signs of impairment, I'm not seeing it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need like a couple things, right, to get an eval, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're saying that like out of everything, you don't really have any of those signs. You just have. Okay.
Yeah, it's just that she does take medications and she did have a drink.
Okay.
Claims
Let the supervisor know, however you want to do that, of the information you gather.
We are wondering if you would voluntarily do a blood draw. You don't have to consent to this, but just because of the medications and everything like that, it would just take the intoxicated possibility out of the whole thing. It's completely voluntary. You don't have to do it. And it's nothing against you if you don't want to do it.
Sorry, I have major fear of needles.
Okay.
The thought of doing that right now is really... But I don't want anything to look bad, like...
It's not going to look bad against you. This is completely voluntary. So you don't have to say yes, and you don't have to say no. It's your choice.
No, I don't think I can handle that right now.
You don't want to do it?
No.
Okay. No problem. I'll just let my supervisor know. Okay?
Crash happens at like 8:45. She admitted to drinking at least a Truly at 7:30. Here we are at 11 o'clock. They never offered her roadsides.
Do we have like any indications of impairment, or is it just the?
No, just as a precautionary thing.
Okay. I mean, but like nobody on scene was able to see if there's any type of impairment.
No, and our RP is Michael Taylor, which is on our own.
So we're
covered.
You got anything on her?
Side. Huh?
You got anything on her? Or?
She sounds normal.
Okay. Eyes look okay.
Like I said, I haven't gotten a full talk.
Any odors?
Not since we went in my car.
Okay. I know that somebody mentioned that she drank a Truly before or something like that. And I'm just here to make sure that, do my due diligence, make sure there's nothing on anybody's end that inhibited any type of the traffic crash or something like that. Okay, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Can I just take a look at your eyes real quick?
Yeah.
Just put some light in it.
Do I need to look a certain direction?
No, you can just stand right there. So I'm going to put some light in your eyes, okay? Just kind of see where your pupils are. I don't mean to blind you. Okay. And then just looking at me with your head and just with your eyes, just look to that way. And if you don't mind just taking a step out, I just want to see how everything is. I know, so besides that injury on your right leg, anything on your left leg bothering you?
No.
Okay. I'll just stay there and just relax. Like I said, I'm just doing my due diligence. I don't want to jump to any conclusions. I don't want anything to happen to you like that. So I'm just gonna get in really close with you, okay? I'm not gonna touch you, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, you can take a seat.
More of a CYA for us.
You want me to do see if she wants to do voluntary, or?
We already asked her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't, but Patrol did. She declined.
Okay.
Said she's afraid of needles.
Sure.
Okay, she was just accessing her car, right?
Yeah. She was standing right by when I got here. Okay. No cops around her. Same thing. Is there any property in the vehicle that you need to get now that I'm
I don't think so. I had started emptying my center console because I didn't know what else to do, and I realized there was nothing that was important in there.
I said, we even had a DUI expert go out there.
Did they ask her to take a breathalyzer?
I don't know specifically for the field breathalyzer. I don't know about that because only there's not a whole lot of those actually out there. They're kind of more expensive than people think they don't equip all of us with them, unfortunately.
What was her explanation for having alcohol in her car?
It was just from just previous group gatherings or parties or whatever. It wasn't like open containers. It was just, leftovers that was just put back in the car.
So she just left them somewhere and then put the leftovers in the car?
It doesn't look like it because looking at the video, it doesn't even look like he ever even hit the brakes. But there was in the video that we could see, we didn't see his tail light get any brighter, to indicate that he hit the brakes.
Elijah represented the best of us. If he could take all the goodness that we have and could hope to be and gather it together, Elijah contained that and even more. He was the purest soul any of us had ever encountered in this lifetime. His conversation wholesome, his honesty fresh, his laughter mesmerizing, his love pure. Elijah was an accomplished artist, avid climber, talented musician, skillful gamer, gifted athlete, consummate friend, and dedicated son, brother, nephew, and grandson. He owned his own business, designing and creating jewelry for the past 6 years. He was almost done with a 2-year project, writing a book on his life, his family to publish. He enjoyed drawing, writing, playing the piano and guitar, and singing. He enjoyed snowboarding and rock climbing. He had regular game nights with his friends. Tuesdays were dedicated to his brother Nero and sister Maluma. Every Tuesday he would cook dinner for his family, play with Nero, read his bedtime stories, and then play games and watch movies with Maluma. Saturday was gaming with his brother Andre. Every Friday, a call to his dad. He was also training for a triathlon with daily runs with his dog Cora, swimming and biking. He loved his motorcycle and had been riding for 5 years. He had friends he rode with regularly in Colorado and had done a cross-country trip with his father a few years ago. He always said he felt free and happy on his bike. He had been most excited about publishing his book, a trip to the East Coast, and a big trip to Thailand coming up. He was taking weekly Thai lessons from a tutor to prepare for his big trip. He had a busy schedule, but if you needed him, he would make time for you. He never met a stranger, and he never saw bad in anyone. 26 years was not enough time to know and love him, but we will honor and celebrate his legacy as long as we live.